This is Overtime, a live series brought to you by Rig Links and War Room Media, where we talk about basically anything we want. And here are your hosts, Greg Williams and Ryan Ray. Ryan. How's things going, bud?
Well, Drew Brees retired finally, so I got that weight off my shoulder.
I saw that, man. I saw that.
So that's I was worried that he was going to hang around for another year. So, but no, everything's good, man. Everything's good. Can't complain. It's windy up here where I'm at. I don't know. You're undisclosed location. The wind's blowing like 600 miles an hour, but here in Texas, it is right now.
Certainly. So,
how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Life is grand. Life is grand. Let's do a screen share here. Get started. All right.
And we got a sponsor, man. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. Ryan, we have a new sponsor for the show. It's 14 and 7 Apparel. They're a small family-owned apparel company based in Alberta. They have roots in oil and gas and agriculture. So everybody get in there, download the Rig Links application, and visit 14 and 7 and get your 10% off today. Once you download the app, then you can visit www.14and7apparel.ca and use the discount code that is sent by email with your email verification once you register with us. So
cool. And I'm on their site right now. They got some cool stuff here. I don't know, I'm a big hat guy, Greg, as you can tell, but the problem is I've got such a large wash tub that I have to have like an extra grande lid go on this bucket, and so if they have one that's like, mega size, I will I think that one right here is pretty cool. It's got a Canadian leaf with oil drop. I'll be happy to support the cause by wearing one on live, on air. I'll pay for it myself. I like that Realtree one. This kind of they got back channel with him, Greg. Let him know that, hey, this man, his head, it's not really brain. It's just a lot of skull. There's a lot of hard.
There's a lot of thickness in there.
A lot. And so, but if they got one, I'll be happy to wear it on the show. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm a team player.
I hear you. We'll see what we can get lined up there. We also got another one lined up for next week too, man.
That's awesome. And so, this is an aside. I don't speak for Greg here, but Camo, I'm from Louisiana. Greg's from Louisiana. So I think Camo and oil and gas, like this Realtree Extreme hat they have, looks fabulous. And it's got the oil and gas, the Canadian leaf. I'm a hockey guy, so Canadians, I'm not against Canadians. I've been to Canada, Vancouver, been to Calgary.
Man, camo and oil and gas goes together like peas and carrots, man.
It does. And you slap on a Canadian leaf, we've got the full Monty, as they say up north. So let's go. I'm excited. So thank you guys so much for sponsoring. Greg, you said we need to go download the app and work through it that way. Is that right? How's it work?
Yeah, you go download the app, and once you register as a member, you will get an email verification in your inbox, and in that email verification will be the code to get 10% off.
You should have the app already downloaded, though, if you're like me.
That's right. You should have the app already downloaded. But right now, it is for new members, but we will be sending a email newsletter out this week, and the code will be in that newsletter.
All right.
So
look forward to it.
Absolutely.
You have to verify they got the wash tub size hat. I need the big bucket. Okay.
The extra large.
Big bucket.
You need that snapback with 4 more snaps on it.
Well, I mean, look. Let's see here. So look at this cat right here. I mean, that's a lot of space in this.
It's a Velcro, and it's on the last loop.
It's stretched. It's stretched.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit about oil prices. The new natural gas pipelines coming online. A little bit about the drilling ban. It'd be interesting. But we know how that's going to go. But anyway, Exxon and Engine No. 1. Deshaun Watson's lawsuit just popped up there. LeBron and the Red Sox.
Why? Why?
James, Winston, and the Saints.
That's least surprising thing.
Yeah. Well, Breeze is out, so we got to have somebody in there. There was a $1 million lottery ticket in somebody's vehicle for a little while there, Ryan. Imagine.
Wow.
Also, the world record Capri Sun drinker. We'll end the show off with that. So interesting. Just some fun-filled just randomness there.
Yeah, I'm curious how many Capri Suns. I don't know. So this is news to me. I'm curious how many you drink.
Well, when I read it, I was a bit thrown back because it's not like how many, it's like how fast, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Drink one, and I was thinking to myself, when we get there, we'll talk about it, but I'm sure my kids beat him somewhere in the day.
I mean, just one. How many fast you drink one?
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
Like that. Like one.
That's a record. That's a record. So
okay. So I'm the new champ.
We'll get there. All right.
Greg, let me just offer a little tip here. A little tip for all the men out there. This mug is on Amazon. Let me tell you something. It's an easy way to score points, fellas. It's an easy way to score points.
I like that.
I mean, it's easy. It's just there. You have it. You pour your cup. You're getting your day warmed up. You're like, oh, I love you, baby. And then you point to the mug. It's just you start the day off right.
Perfect start to the day.
No, listen, go find that cup on Amazon, fellas, and thank me later. But don't spend all your money because you go back on 14 and 7 up.
Ryan's favorite subject, oil prices.
Let's go. Let's talk about them.
So that's what is that? So that's 65.36 on the WTI. Oh no, that's on the Brent. Sorry, 65.38 on the Brent and 61 floating 94, 95, 96 on the WTI. Thoughts, Ryan? How you doing?
Hey, we've just added to the storage 3 weeks in a row, so makes sense. The prices are still up, right? Like, makes perfect sense. So yeah,
just stack on in there.
Yeah, this perfect sense. So now the increase yesterday wasn't very significant. I think it was on like 2 million barrels or something like that. But the previous 2 weeks we had 22 million and 12 million barrels. So you're talking about 22 and 12. This is gonna get me in trouble. So 20, 10, 30, 2 and 3 is 5, another 2. So you're talking about what 37 million barrels of storage, something like that. Roughly 35, 37 million. Top of my head. The last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And prices are still up. Okay.
I'm game.
Yeah, I mean, but we have seen that the reports are coming out that the U.S. production on land hasn't really ramped up, and so so the Saudis said drill baby drill's over, and for now it appears that they're right. So we'll see how long that lasts, but it seems for now that they made a wise bet.
Yeah, agreed. This next one there, Ryan, the 4 new natural gas pipelines coming online there in the U.S. So between November 2020 and January 2021, they had the Saginaw Trail Pipeline by Consumer Energy come online November 2020. So that would be in Saginaw, Genesee, and Oakland counties in Michigan. Buckeye Express project in December 2020. This was an infrastructure improvement and replaced 66 miles of existing line in Ohio and West Virginia. Then you had Kinder Morgan's Permian Highway Pipeline, which we're probably more familiar with, which came online January this year. Of course, it has connections Permian, Katy, Gulf Coast, and additional connections heading down to Mexico. Then the Agua Blanca expansion of the Whitewater MPLX, which connects 20 natural gas processing sites in the Delaware Basin. So all 4 of these totaled almost 4.5 billion cubic feet per day coming online in just 3 months. So, Ryan, the current government administration is not standing in the way of any of these projects. So, how long do you see that lasting? If they want to pull through with some of the promises, but
Well, yeah, I mean, it gets into the permitting process, right? So,
sure.
So it's at a certain point, in like the trade groups and whatnot, they'll track these things by the permits and say, the likelihood of the project to go forward. So, at a certain point, they're gonna go forward. We have, Ellen and I were talking on Energy Week. We've got to be getting close to that 60-day moratorium on drilling in the U.S., right?
Yeah, we're getting really close.
Really close. Okay. And so Biden administration announced earlier this week that they are going to release new guidelines by mid-summer.
In a bit. Okay, so I think it comes up next.
What's that?
So I think we'll talk a little bit about the ban coming up next year. But
Well, so they announced they have these guidelines that are coming out, and it's like, well, there was no mention of the ban, but then you have the guidelines. The guidelines were midsummer. Well, summer officially starts June 20th. So midsummer or early summer, I think it was. So that's like middle of July. That's a long time from now. So on this particular issue, I mean, if they can, I tend to think, my gut feeling here, which has been wrong a lot lately, is that Biden canceled the Keystone and he got a lot of publicity there. All these other pipelines aren't newsworthy. And so he can let those go. We had to put a lot of pressure on him. Keystone and Dakota Access were the two that were really news grabbers. These other ones aren't really news grabbers. So if they happen, is he going to catch a lot of flack from the left? Probably not.
Yeah. Understood. Speaking about bans in the current administration, of course, we know there's a temporary ban, but just so our listeners understand that the Gulf of Mexico accounts for about 20% of the overall oil and gas production, as well as 120,000 jobs. So we know that 60,000 of those jobs have been, lost since the kind of pandemic started. But anyway, recently confirmed Secretary of the Interior, Deborah Hallett, said that the ban was temporary and not a long-term solution. So, Ryan, when I hear the word long-term, ban fits in there. So, I mean, when you start talking about bans, I mean, that's although this one's temporary, do we see a longer one coming? What's the chances of extending that?
Yeah. So those guidelines, I think, are going to be the key. So, and this is what's confusing. The memo or whatever it was that we read on Energy Week, it didn't address the ban, to use the term that they used, but it had the guidelines, and the guidelines won't be out until middle of July. So it's like, are they going to extend this between now and to the middle of July? If so, that's devastating. It's not going to be good because then you've got 7 months of no new permits being issued, and I say devastating. It's not good for the industry. So oil, they allow a few between now and then. That's the $1 million question right now, and I'm not really confident on that because that will. So unlike the pipelines, where no one's really tracking that because they're not big names, rolling that back, they might get a lot of flack. So it wouldn't surprise me to see them extend the temporary ban, until early summer, which is middle of July, early July, and then have new guidelines. But at that point, those guidelines may be so strict that it doesn't really matter. That would be the question: is what are these guidelines? Because if these guidelines are really onerous, then it doesn't matter if you're willing to approve a permit if you can't actually qualify for one.
Right. It just beckons to say, the holes there, not getting any information to fill it up. It just feels like something's coming. That's all.
Yeah. What do you think? You think they're gonna eventually drill, baby drill?
I foresee a longer halt on issuing permits coming. That's what I see.
Well, and so how high can gasoline prices get before Biden balks on it, you think?
I'm not sure. We'll see
what this. At some point, if the gasoline prices
we'll see what this new Secretary of the Interior is built of, because that's where it's going to be.
I need a stimmy. That's all I'm saying. I need a stimmy. Folks,
stimulate and stimulus.
I tell you, and I need a Stimmy, and I need one of these Real Dream Extreme hats. These are really legit. I've been checking this out from our sponsor, 14 and 7, Greg. So we got to hook these guys. They need to make sure it fits this wash tub head, because if so, it will be on this melon if we can get it here by next week. So download the Riglings app, folks, and get your 10% or 15% off, Greg.
10%.
10%. I got to pay full price. Like that's just how it works around here. Greg demands he demands excellence. I got to pay full price, but you folks are fine listeners.
Excellence. All right. We chatted back and forth a little bit about this one the last time, but it's Exxon and Engine No. So we just passed back and forth a bit of email, but seems Engine One are being a bit more vocal again about Exxon's board of director changes and wants 4 of them removed. Yeah. Of course, they're speaking directly to stockholders. But now, Ryan, if I was a stockholder of a company and somebody outside of an organization is telling me that I needed to vote to have people removed from a board where it could potentially lead to loss of even more money for me, I'd be hard-pressed to listen to anything they had to say, to be quite honest. But unless they bought enough stock to have a majority say and, vote to have them replaced. But what do you think about this approach here?
I think screw them commies.
That's
what I think. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to tell you that we need to circle back around on that thing that you sent over to talk about it, because my schedule is kind of rebalanced out now. So if you still want to look at that, we can. But generally speaking, yeah, I mean, listen, there are, we've talked about, hey, maybe you should plant trees or do this stuff. There's nothing wrong with being environmentally friendly. And the best way to do it is to be willingly environmentally friendly. Because when you start to cede to the environmentalist, what you find is that you cannot meet their demands. So what you should say is, if you're ExxonMobil, hey, listen, we're going to replant 2/3 of the rainforest, or I don't know, whatever, or we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then you do it. And they say, that's not enough. Say, well, okay, sorry, we're one company. We can't fix the world. This is what we got to do. We have a vital product. We have to deliver. We're trying to do it clean. And this is our contribution, which comes to us at a loss or maybe tax credit to our company. So this is what we're doing. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but this is what we're doing. Because we start to play these games with them, then that's the problem. And so what happens with big oil is, and let's be honest here, big oil likes this Biden stuff we're just talking about, because it helps them out. The more onerous the regulations are, the better it is for big oil. So we're sitting here like, Engine No. 1 and Exxon, what's going on? Well, I'm sure on some level Exxon is frustrated because they're being pushed harder than they want to be, but I don't have a lot of sympathy for them, because they gave a lot of money to the Biden campaign. And so it's not like they didn't have a dog in both races here. So
no. I mean, just to add, I fully support Exxon nominating who they want to their board. I mean, if Engine No. 1 wants to get their own oil company and have stockholders invest in it, then go get it. But just so they remember that, Exxon's been around for over 100 years and they've made developments and breakthroughs that are in every area of our life. So if you want to sit back and criticize, don't leave out the good that's been done as well. So if anyone wants a refresher on what ExxonMobil's done for the world, then head over to their website. They got a full timeline there. So
I agree fully. My only problem is that the big oil plays these games, and so I don't want to. This isn't.
Sometimes they fall in their own trap.
Right. So this isn't mom and pop operator out in West Texas who's getting just crushed by, the Biden regulations, and they didn't have nothing to do with it. This is Exxon's playing this game, and now they're having to deal with this problem, and me and you are presuming it's a problem. That's the other thing, is that we're not. I think if you go back and look, they gave 46%. Someone can check me on this. 46% of their campaign donations were to Biden campaign, and so Chevron, I think, was like 23%. At the last time I saw it. But anyways, so it's not as in knowing what Biden was saying. When you're giving money to that campaign, it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh my gosh. I do think there's a great point about Engine No. 1 and what they're trying to do apart from Exxon. But from Exxon's standpoint, it's like, hey guys, you kind of want this on some level.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what comes out of it. All right. Moving on out of the market there, We'll get over
You've
here to
reached the end of your social feed.
no, not the end of your social feed.
Mm.
Anyway, and this was wild for me. Not only is he okay with a trade, but it seems there's a few people out there willing to take a shot at him over what sounds like a massage that got kind of sideways or claimed to have gone too far. So, Ryan, if my lawyer reached out to me and said, oh no, if my lawyer reached out to you and said, look, we'd like to settle this out of court, I would like $600K for my suffering, and based on this or that, of course, if Ryan was the mayor of Granbury, which from what I understand from the webpage, he's going to be running in 2024, but
2022.
But 2022, yeah. But put that aside, you would tell me to shove it, of course. Then what would be the first thing that I would do? Like, I would be headed to the media, and then I would go ahead and publish it that I was suing you in civil court. Right. So it all falls into place. So this is what I could kind of garner a bit of support from the public, but seems kind of baseless to me. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, yeah. So it's one of those things where it's there's a lot of ways you could look at these things. So let's just take the real people out of this for a second. You can say, well, Deshaun Watson in this case, maybe he didn't think, and I don't know enough about the allegations to say, what's going on here, but is it something that could be proven or not? And that's really and so whether or not Deshaun is guilty or not, how much can be proven in court? And that goes a long way. And so even if he's guilty in this case, and I have no idea, I am not making a commentary on the case itself.
Sure.
I'm just simply going through possibilities. If it cannot be proven, like it's just her and him, and it was a few words passed back and forth, if that's all it is, then that's really hard to be proven in court. And so whether he did it or not, it's like the Cuomo stuff right now in New York. A lot of things that I've heard about that are kind of things that, and I don't like Cuomo. I can't stand the guy. I think he should be in jail for murdering all those old people. So just be clear.
I agree.
But for the sexual allegation stuff, it's kind of like, okay, maybe he said that, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. And so you have that. It could be that from Watson's standpoint, that the things that he was accused of saying is that or doing is that can't be proven. Okay. Or
what has gone too far?
Huh?
What has gone too far?
It could be he thought
it could possibly be like going too far, like Mike Tyson biting off Holyfield's ear.
Right.
I mean,
it
wasn't.
It could be that he thought things were consensual, or it could be that he's just a sleazebag. I don't know. So I'm always
it could be.
Right.
It could be. Who
so
knows?
I'm always leery to, for a while it was kind of like, well, we've got to believe all women, and then now it's like, well, my stance is take each situation case by case, because I don't know. So like with Mike Tyson, you bring Mike Tyson. If you came out and told me that Mike Tyson bit someone's ear off, right? Well, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But also,
it's not out of the realm of possibility. But if you hadn't have already known that, you would be thinking to yourself, "No, man."
That's right. That's right. But we should take it. We should take it in case by case. And so whether it's a cop shooting, whether it's a sexual harassment case, we should take everything case by case, because there's certain standards that we want employed on us if we're being judged. We want to give that to everyone else. So I'm not trying to defend Deshaun Watson or the lady. I don't know. Here's the thing: me and you, and everyone watching, we don't know either any of these people. We don't know them. Nope. We definitely know the woman, and we only know Deshaun Watson as a football player. So I have no idea. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm not trying to defend her. I don't know. Hopefully things come out the right way, but she wasn't. Now, what's interesting is she's an unlicensed massage.
Sounds like you're going to have some great policies for Granbury, so I'm looking forward.
Well, real quick, it says that she's an unnamed licensed. Okay, I thought it said unlicensed massage therapist. She's unnamed. We shouldn't have licensed massage therapists. That's a really in Granbury. I will
make sure that they're. Yeah, make sure that they're. Yeah.
Why do you need license?
You have to make sure they have a name too.
Yeah, but why do you need license to be a massage therapist? Like, what's the deal with that?
I mean, it's a trade, man. I mean, people go to school to learn how to do it. So
what do you need a license for? Either you can give a good massage or you can't. I had a lady come to my house yesterday.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I had a lady come to my house yesterday. She's been in my house multiple times, and she gives massages to me and to my wife, and she's one of those traveling masseuses. Does a fantastic job.
And the high roller there gets massage in his house.
Well, not necessarily, but okay. It's the same price as if you go to the salon. I don't know what the big deal. Like people are like, oh, it's really, look at you, Mr. Ray, getting one in your house. Like I saved myself 40-minute round trip. That's it. Right. But anyways, guess what? If she came the first time because it was a gift certificate that my parents got me and my wife, it's a couple of massages 2 years ago, whatever. If she showed up and she was terrible, we just wouldn't have called her back.
Right.
You can give a good massage or you can't. Like that's all the point. It's not like electricity where I'm not even sure about that, but like where you can cross the wires and the house burns down.
Terrible. That's a terrible example.
What? No, I'm saying like electricity.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's that?
I mean, when you have it, when you keep it, yeah.
Well,
when you can keep it on.
Yeah, I mean, okay, obviously, but I'm saying at least with electrician, there's an argument to me that you could burn down someone's house.
Oh, totally.
A massage is like, okay, either you're good at it or you're not. Like it's.
Oh no, man. You can potentially mess up some vertebrae there, man. For sure.
Oh, okay. I will take my risk in the Granbury greater metropolitan area of unlicensed massage therapy. Okay.
All right. They probably wouldn't be called massage therapists. So.
Oh yeah, they probably have some freaking trademark on that term, don't they?
Yeah, sure, something like that. All right, we'll talk about LeBron and the Red Sox. So,
can we just skip this?
Everybody out there has heard about the wall, but now LeBron got his mitts on the Red Sox too.
Can we skip this, please?
No, I'm going to run through it real quick.
Oh, God.
So, what do you think it looks like going forward for sports stars owning sports teams? Do you think it's you think it works for better or worse? Right.
First off, I thought LeBron James was a Yankees fan. I remember him wearing a Yankees hat. You don't come to Red Sox Nation after you've done that. We don't want you.
Right.
You go back to New York or go to Cleveland or go to L.A. We don't want you.
There's plenty of places to choose from.
You can go by the Royals. You get on the whole team. Don't come to Boston. We don't want you. Huh? What's that?
Boston.
Yeah, don't come to Boston. I mean, listen.
He's an owner now.
I know. As a Celtics and Red Sox fan, the lines are blurred here. First off, you wore a Yankees hat. Second off, you beat my Celtics when they should have won another title. It's too soon, and by too soon, I mean in your lifetime it will be too soon. Okay, we don't want you. So go somewhere else. Go buy another team. You can own all the teams in the Major League Baseball, but not the Red Sox. Like, why are you
right?
That?
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, but let's just take the LeBron name out of it for just a second. Let's talk about sports stars owning teams. So, I see some good here. I mean, as you would like to work for a guy, that's been where you are, or kind of knows it from both sides. So, I mean. The money side of it as well. Maybe it's just for show, but I don't know. But again, for all of our European listeners out there, LeBron also owns part of the Liverpool Football Club. So we can't just talk about the Sox here. We're going to have to talk about Liverpool as well. So there you go.
Well, Liverpool's a garbage organization. As a United fan, I can't stand them. But you can't get it all right.
No, not always.
As far as athletes owning, I mean, I don't really care. I think if you look at someone like Magic Johnson, probably the most successful athlete to transition to be an owner. I know Jordan is one, but he's not a good owner. Magic teams have actually won things. I think he struggles. Like if you watch his comments, he really struggles to be overly critical of the players, and I think it creates a weird dynamic.
So they need a coach owner.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, so as a sports fan, what I want is an owner who is dedicated to winning and probably stays out the way. So you look at like Robert Kraft, or the Rooney family, families like that have a lot of money. They're willing to win.
Yeah.
They're going to put the people in place. Of course, they got an ego, so they're going to be involved from time to time. But by and large, they let the experts, the people that are good at this, do their thing. They create stability in the organization. I'm not sure how many players can bring that type of stability. LeBron's very passive aggressive as it is, and so so I don't know if he can do it. I'm sure there's some that can, some that can't, just like there are current owners now. But I think if you're going to be a owner and you're a player, which means you'll be popular. Some of these owners want to be discreet. You're going to be popular. You're going to be out there. Everyone's going to see you. You got to be willing to say the hard things, and then you're criticizing the brotherhood that you came from with the Players Association. So I think that's where it gets kind of
you're right. It's a double-edged sword there.
However, LeBron, if you want to invest in this podcast, after 14-7 apparel goes away, we'd be happy to take you on. We'll take you.
That's it. We'll open up a spot for you.
Yep. You have to get in now, though. They're filling up fast.
What about James Winston and the Saints? So, did you see that one coming?
I like it better than Taysom. I don't like Taysom. I mean, I don't think Taysom's any good. What do you think?
Oh, you're talking about what was that? Sorry,
Taysom Hill.
Oh, yeah. I'd go with Winston.
Yeah. So, I mean, I prefer Deshaun Watson. That's what I'd really prefer, Deshaun Watson. So if we can trade James Winston and Taysom Hill for Deshaun Watson, then we've got something.
I agree.
And that's what I would do if I was the Saints. I'd trade Taysom, Deshaun, and like a draft pick or whatever they could package up.
We're speaking about quarterbacks here. I mean, I saw where we also signed a 1-year deal with Tyrod Taylor from the Chargers.
Oh, I missed that.
So I guess they're thinking Deshaun won't turn up for training camp. It's a sad state of affairs if you hire someone just in case you're start.
The Texans got Tyrod Taylor, not the Saints.
Yeah, Texans.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It just speaks volumes about the team's relationship whenever you think your starter and star player won't show up for training camp. So
yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
No, it doesn't sit real well. All right, moving on here, Ryan. Now, listen, if there's one thing that doesn't make sense to me is people that buy lottery tickets and never check them. Like, why do you even buy them? So this $1 million lottery ticket sat in a vehicle for 2 months. So here's a case where someone left it in a vehicle. Like, why? Okay, no problem there. A Kansas lottery player said their ticket for the Holiday Millionaire raffle sat forgotten in their vehicle for more than 2 months before they discovered it was a $1 million prize winner. What in the hell? Just give it to me. I'll take up the slack. That's 15 seconds. It wouldn't take to look up the numbers or the final drawing. I could have done that. No issues whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's probably got a note written on the back of it. It's probably got a grocery list written on the back of it or something and put in the console.
So let me ask you this. Why does the lottery people not have an app where you can buy the ticket on your phone?
I think that's coming, is it not?
Is it coming?
I think so. I think I seen something about that a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
But
I would suspect that that there's probably more of these tickets that are lost.
Oh,
they're $1 million winners, but they're $50,000, $75,000 winners that are lost.
I'm sure of it, man.
And so if you have the app, you've got to pay out every time.
Ones that fell in that Never Neverland spot next to the seatbelt in your vehicle.
Right.
I'm sure that that there's winning lottery tickets in there. I mean, how many times have you thrown away scratch offs with a potential lottery ticket shoved up inside of the scratch offs? I mean, there's no telling.
Well, I take that back. I'm looking right now though. There's a Texas lottery app right here on Google Play. Huh. Okay, so I stand corrected.
Well,
I wonder if it's the real deal, or if it's just like this tells you the winners. Oh, you can scan the barcode, and I don't think you can actually buy the
ticket. So this is just checking if it's a winner.
Yeah, they will hold to be on the paper ticket as long as they can because they want people to lose them. Not just the $1 million winners, but it's not just those; it's all those smaller winners that people lose.
The same way whenever you're doing. It's the same reason whenever you're doing expense claims. So the reason they want to keep on paper is because you lose 10, 15% of your receipts that you claim back.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it works in their favor.
Exactly.
Well, if that lottery ticket being lost doesn't leave you thirsty, then this will. So
Okay.
So
I'm going for
world record Capri Sun drinker. Ryan, if staying indoors is something that if we haven't mastered these days, any of our listeners out there, you can always go for this record. Declan Evans, 20 years old, set the record for the fastest time to drink a Capri Sun. His record time now, Ryan, you ready? 16.65 seconds. Now,
okay. Let me just make sure I'm hearing this right. This is not
yes.
1.665 seconds. This is 16, like 1,001, 1,002, 1,003.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay, I could like 6.
Ryan, that's why I said I'm going to be real here for a minute. When my kids were growing up, I'm sure they beat this time. In fact, I'm almost 100% positive they would inhale these things. They would grab the bottom, slam it, force the drink through the straw, and bam, it was gone. Also, they taste terrible too. So,
okay, I'm going to go do this because I'm asking my wife right now. I'm going to send her a message and see if we have one. Because I'm going to do an experiment today to see. Because I'm like you, there's no way I can't do one faster than 16 seconds.
I mean, it'd have to be.
Is it like the larger one or something?
Like
the grande
version? Different sizes.
I just can't imagine 16 seconds is the record.
I think what we have here is a situation of a previous record not being set.
Yeah. Okay.
He set a new one. He set a record for it. So that means you can go out there and beat it if you want to do it in 1 second. You got to apply it to beat it. So Ryan,
I'm interested in beating it. I'm afraid though, if I beat it, then someone else is going to beat mine. So I was like, so instead of saying like the permanent Guinness Book of World, I'm like the temporary holder. I held it for like 3 days. Well, so I tell you what, Greg. Here's the question. I wonder if there's a rule against squeezing it. If it's just strictly sucking through the straw. That's what has to be going on, right?
Well, I mean, I guess you'd have to look at the. I guess you'd have to look at the rules there, but I mean, it's hard for me to believe that you couldn't slam it like that.
Listen, I'm trying to figure out how to 16 seconds. I mean, I got a 2-year-old in there. She'll drink it faster than 16 seconds. So, I mean,
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, we used to roll up to these, it's just like most kids in the southern parts of the states. Mine all were in Dixie Youth growing up. So, and we'd pull up to one of those, weekly practices, bi-weekly practices, whatever we were doing. And we'd have the cooler loaded full of goodies and go out there. And I mean, those kids would slam those Capri Suns like, one after the other. I mean, it was just like, there's no way. In 16 seconds, I would easily say that you could drink 5 of those Capri Suns.
Okay, here's. Okay, wait, is this the video of him doing it?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Here we go. He says, any commercially available unmodified 200 milliliter Capri Sun pouch, that's normal size, using the straw, which must begin the challenge, still inside the plastic and still glued to the side. Okay. So you got to
open it, punch it, and then go.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what got it. So you got to think that it could take a few seconds. If you get it and you bend that straw, you're done. Right. Yeah. So you got to have everything prepared. You got to hit the right amount of force. The rips got to be right. But then once you do that, he says, this is this guy. It's a stupid record to hold, but that is the fun of the Guinness World Records. I think it would get beaten. I wouldn't say it was that fast. It's a silly record anyone can try, but I'm still proud to have it. It's still a world record.
But he did say that his next thing he wanted to do was he wanted to try to put a record out there for the fastest time running while carrying someone on a stretcher.
Listen, man's got ambition. Okay, I'm not going to hate on him. He's got more world records than I do.
He's definitely got one more than me.
Yeah, so I mean, congrats to him. But
agreed.
I mean, I'm gonna pop a Capri Sun this afternoon. I'm gonna rip, smash, boom, and see how long I can get the thing done. Because if your boy
Do
can
it
beat, my wife said we don't have any. Never mind. Never mind.
Find time to do a recording and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, that's us for this week. So,
41 minutes.
Man, that's a record there. See?
That's
Ryan, I'd like to thank our sponsors, 14 and 7 Apparel. And again, everyone get out there and download the Riglinks application. And once you verify your membership, you'll get an email that has a code in it that will give you 10% off of anything on 14 and 7 Apparel's website. So
awesome. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. I'm Greg with Riglinks, and that is Ryan with War Room Medium. Thanks for joining this week for another edition of Overtime, and that's a wrap.
Peace out, homies.
Over. You've been watching Overtime, a live series brought to you by Riglinks and War Room Media. Your hosts have been Greg Williams and Ryan Ray. For sponsorship opportunities, send us an email at info@riglinks.com. Tune in next Thursday at 10 a.m. CST for another live episode.